Hi, I'm Allison Trimble with Willfully Guided Horsemanship. I actually had the same question submitted twice this time, both from Tyanha Humes of Bellingham, Washington and Candice Green of Arkansas, and they ask, Allison, when I go to stop my horse and I take a hold of him, he hits the ground, hollows out his back, and roots up into my hands. What am I doing that's wrong, and what can I do to help improve this? These are great questions, ladies. It's actually a very common problem for people who are first learning to stop their horses, and honestly, even people who've stopped their horses for a long time. I think that a lot of times the root of the problem is in your understanding of the mechanics of the maneuver. So what's important to know about a stop is that you're actually asking your horse to go from forward motion properly and in frame to backward motion. And so actually the stop takes care of itself if your horse is able to go from forward motion to backward motion freely. So what I do to help enforce this on my horses, and I'm going to take you back down to a walk or a trot to do this, is I'm going to kind of go around here and I'm going to move my horse forward. I'm going to ask him to stop, and I'm actually going to keep a hold of him until I feel him rock back. I'm not going to just go and have him stop and find that I release him when he gets the cessation of forward motion. So if I do that, then my horse is just going to hunk that place where he hits the ground hard, instead of thinking that the place he gets to quit is when he picks his shoulders up and is nice and free. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go around at a walk or a trot, but I do want my horse to have some forward motion. I don't want him to already be mostly stopped. So here I'm going to bring him up forward. Whoa. And I'm not going to release him until he takes that rock step back. That's really important, that that's the place you quit him at. Even if he's a little bit hard to start out with, you want to make sure that the place that you release, whoa, is as he comes back a couple of steps. What you do not want to do is take your horse over and halt them hard on their front end in one spot and not ask them to rock back. That kind of is what turns into that problem that we're talking about. And I think what happens a lot of time, like we talked about a little bit in our twirling video, is that sometimes you feel like the indication of something happening is because you can feel it. And really, when something's being done properly, it should feel effortless. It should feel pretty much like nothing. So if your horse is stopping properly, you shouldn't feel like you're being jarred into the ground. And so I think what happens a lot of times is people go around, ask their horse to stop, and they feel their horse do something. Really what they're doing is hitting their front end. So for a number of times they go around and they quit when they feel their horse stop, instead of quitting when they feel him come back off their hands. So then they've kind of created their own monster that their horse then begins to hit the ground harder and heavier each time. So again, I want you to make sure that when you ask your horse to stop, whoa, at whatever speed you're at, the place that you release is when they come back and off your hands and off their front end into a backup step. Great question, ladies. If any of the rest of you have questions, I'd love to have you submit them to www.willfullyguided.com. And remember, enjoy your horses.